1031 WRNR. I'm Carrie backstage with Maggie Rogers.
Hi!
Home. Hi. Welcome home.
I'm so happy to be home.
We're so happy to have you back.
I've been thinking about this show. I've been on tour now for like a month, and I've been thinking about this show the whole time because I'm from here. I saw shows here growing up, and I just, as I was walking in to this room to see you, I walked past the stage, and the last time I was here was to see Beyonce.
Nice.
And to like walk past any space you know Beyonce has existed in and know that you're going to be in the same space is exhilarating, but to know that it's like an arena in my hometown is like just the craziest thing.
Yeah, you've had a mad run here the last year and a half.
It's a little nuts.
How are you doing? What is it like? Because I'm just wondering, you've gone from playing 1,500 rooms to now playing arenas.
I went from playing 300 capitals. I don't know if anyone was at my first show in Baltimore, but it was 300 people.
Right. I remember that.
Yeah, it was my first show on tour ever.
Last time we saw you.
Baltimore Soundstage.
Soundstage.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. It wasn't
sold out.
That show
It was sold out. It was sold out.
Yes, because I remember you said, I have a sold out show.
It was sold out,
so
and one of my dad's friends tried to buy all of our merch. And I remember my friend coming up to me who was running merch being like, we had a lot of shows. Is this okay? And I was like, I don't know. I feel like I don't know is the perfect sentence to say how I've felt over the past couple of years, because it's been incredibly overwhelming and very exciting. But I think I'm so excited about where I am now because so much change happened in my life at the beginning of my career with this Pharrell video, and suddenly I was launched into being a public figure so quickly and realistically without any of my control that there was so much that felt really uncomfortable, but it was really complicated because at the same time it was everything I'd ever wanted. It was just, I didn't really get the chance to introduce myself in the way that I wanted to. And so I think that's why I'm just so excited for this record, because I finally get to introduce myself on my own terms. And also, now that I've been through this cycle once with the EP, and I know how everything works, I'm able to customize everything this time around to make it more like me, or more comfortable, and I'm just really starting to enjoy it for the first time, and also get to take it in, because I think sometimes when everything is new, it's hard to process at the same time as you're just taking on all this information.
Well, from my perspective, it seems like you have stayed so authentic.
Oh, thank you.
And I imagine that that's difficult to do.
I think it has a lot to do with where I'm from, because I lived in New York for 5 years, but when I started really touring, it didn't make sense to have an apartment anymore. So I moved all of my stuff back to the Eastern Shore to my parents' house. And I'm there a lot, probably every 2.5, 3 months, even if it's just for a couple of days to change my suitcase out. But
so if you're walking around Easton one day and you think you see Maggie, you probably do.
But tread lightly, because I'm trying to be home. Not tread lightly, but come say hi if you recognize me. But also I think the thing that's really kept me grounded is getting to go home and when I turn my phone off and my computer off and I'm at home, nothing's changed. Things have changed on the internet, but my home hasn't changed, and where I'm from hasn't changed. And I think that's why I said why tread lightly was because I feel,
want to keep it that way.
Well, and I feel so attached to the community there too, and everybody in the community treats me the same, and so I get to just go home and be part of this really special small town community. And part of it has to do with the way of life on the Eastern Shore, of people just being grounded, and people care about who you are, not what you've got going on. And I think that has really helped me just stay me.
I've heard people say, who live on the Eastern Shore before, that when you cross the Bay Bridge coming back towards Annapolis, that you're crossing into the dark side.
Oh, that's intense. I feel a lightness in all of Maryland. You see.
good answer.
Yeah, I don't think that there's a good or bad part of all of it. And especially like, you know, at this point touring, I've been like around the world 2-3 times.
Right.
And I'm always really grateful to be discovering new things about the world. Or I don't know, that's the cool thing about touring is like I'm starting to have these spots in different, like there's this coffee shop in Kansas City I love, or like I love this thrift store in Portland, Oregon, or like I'm starting to feel like a citizen of the world in this way that feels really special. Like I don't live anywhere, but at the same time I live everywhere.
It's hard to believe that you are just starting to be able to experience the excitement because you just seem so effervescent, and it's really like it comes across in everything you do. You're excited, like when you were going on SNL, like, I mean, that like I felt your excitement.
I have been so excited. I think what I'm trying to say is like, well, actually, the weird part about being a professional musician is my life is like 30% music. So the music, you know, the parts where you see me are mostly when I'm making things, where I'm like, making a music video, or I'm on SNL, or I'm on stage. Like when I'm on stage, I am the happiest person because I'm making music. And I think at the beginning of my career, I've always felt incredible about the music, but at the beginning of my career, it was like everything else that I found overwhelming. But that also, like, that's part of having a job. Like, it can't be fun all the time, like, but it's fun most of the time.
Yeah,
which I
you're
feel really
making
grateful
the most
for that.
of it. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm having a blast. I'm seriously, and it helps being on the road. You know, I'm on the road with Mumford & Sons right now, and those guys are some of the warmest, kindest, most generous
Tell me
people
about
I've ever met.
your relationship, your past with them, because you played with them at Newport, right?
Yeah, we met at a festival in the summer of 2017 called Latitude, and then this time last year I got a call from them on a Monday, and they were like, "Hey Max, what are you doing?" And I was like, "Hey guys, like, you know, I haven't heard from them in a while." I said, "Do you want to come to Senegal on Friday?" I was like, "Okay." So I spent 10 days in West Africa with them, recording and working on music, and then now I played at Newport, and I've been on the road with them. But, you know, I'm also just a big fan of theirs. Like, I went to their first show at Meriwether Post Pavilion when I was 16 or 17, and I've seen them play a bunch of times before. So to be back here playing with them is really special.
Yeah. So tell me how your show changes when you're playing a huge arena with them.
I definitely talk less. I love talking during my show because I think so much of my music is about my personal connection with the audience. But, you know, being an opener it's complicated. It's really fun because the pressure's off. But at the same time, you have to remember, like, I've had shows where I've been on stage and like there's been like 3 people in the audience, you know, and I've had shows where, like we played Madison Square Garden the other night. Like I went to NYU. And by the end of the show, the entire arena was full, and it was just like crazy. And I felt that way in Philadelphia too, and it's
Yeah, you have a lot of connections on the East Coast.
Yeah, the guys keep making fun of me too because I keep every show feels like a hometown show. Because like New York is where I went to college, Boston, I went to summer camp near there. And then DC and Philadelphia, I mean, DC feels like my natural hometown to play just because of Maryland being part of DC, or part, you know, lending land to the district. But on the Eastern Shore, Philly and DC were equidistant, so I saw concerts in both places growing up, and it is a crazy feeling. You know, I played my first shows on the Eastern Shore, and to then, like, 6, 7, 8 years later, think about where I am and how I got here is, I'm just really grateful. It's really just, I just kind of can't believe it.
Yeah. I know, it's like, I feel like
I'm
living it through
like
you.
Really, like,
just watching you do it.
I can't believe I get to do this, I think is the thing. Is, you know, like I grew up just like writing songs in my bedroom when I was like 13 or 14, and to be able to then get to play those songs with one of my favorite bands, or to get to be in the arena, I saw Beyonce. It's like, and it's my show. Like, it's really special.
Yeah. Well,
it's not lost on me.
It's fun to watch the trajectory for sure.
Oh, thank you.
So the new album, the
Yeah.
full-length album, finally, January 18th.
I'm so excited. It's almost a month away.
I know.
It's crazy.
Happy New Year.
I know. Gosh, I'm sorry. 2019 is my year.
So,
yeah.
heard it in a past life.
Mm-hmm.
Who were you in your past life?
I think that's, you know, it's crazy you're the first person to ask me that, because you assume that every journalist would be asking me that, but I think the title comes from so much of the last 2 years of my life, and this record is about these 2 years and this giant change in my life and the transition that I've been through personally, but so much has happened where I seem to just kind of keep being in the right place in the right time, and I'm not really sure how. That I sort of feel like I've been trying to do this for a lot of lifetimes, and this is just like the one where it lines up. But I mean, the title is that, and it's also playful about like the creative process and how nobody really knows where music comes from, and suddenly it exists and you can't see it. And it's also just my way of like thinking about storytelling and the way that like narratives constantly repeat themselves and are reborn in a certain way, whether it's cycles in your lifetime or even just a narrative from a movie. You know, I think so much of my story can get told as like a Cinderella story, basically. But I think what I really wanted to show in this record is, well, I just really wanted it to feel human. It's so easy to simplify my story into like, girl gets plucked from obscurity and becomes a star, and the reality is like, it's more complicated than that, and I wanted to tell about those moments of feeling overwhelmed and scared, and also those moments of like intense ecstasy and joy, and the record really tells that whole story.
Well, we're looking forward to it. And Light On is awesome.
Yeah, thank you. Light On feels like it is the like thesis of the record. Like it really tells the, you know, Light On is written as a record, as a letter to my fans, and so about those 2 years.
Oh, nice.
And so the lyrics of that song are really like, so many of the other songs sort of zoom in on like singular moments or singular emotions over those 2 years, but Light On is the song that really tells the story in full in 3 minutes.
I'm so glad you told me that. I'm going to listen to it in a whole new
It's
way
gonna,
now.
You're gonna get a little sadder now. But I mean, Light On at the end is about like committing and being excited to say yes to all of this crazy music stuff.
I also just want to tell you how inspiring I think it is that you surround yourself with so many other artists in different fields.
Thank you.
And that must feed into your inspiration as well.
Totally. Well, I think community it's one of the most important things in my life, and I've been shown such kindness and been welcomed into community by artists like Mumford & Sons or Brandy Carlisle, and it's important for me to do that with other artists as well, because I just think so often in the music industry artists are put into competition with each other, which is so stupid, because like the competition, it's so like grounded and driven by like readily access to data that we have with like social media and stuff, but like realistically no artist should be threatened by each other, because everybody has a unique voice, and so there is inherently space for everyone. And so my artist friends have become my rocks, because realistically like I'm not in a band, it's just me. Like I tour with a band and those guys have become my friends, but when it comes to like doing press, like it's just me. And so it's really nice to be able to call people like Sophie Tucker or Phoebe Bridgers or like this band Muna, you know, call friends and be like, like I did the most embarrassing thing on this TV show, and like, oh dude, like I totally had shit in my teeth. Like it's special.
Yeah. That's good.
It's like summer camp. You're traveling with all these people, you know, and then you make friends, and then like I made a great friend in Andrew Hosier this summer, and now we're gonna get to go play some shows next summer in his hometowns in Ireland. Like it's a really special thing.
I'm curious, do you find that there's more of a competitive spirit placed on you with other female performers than with other male performers?
No. Placed on me?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Totally. I thought you were saying, like, do I feel
do you feel it?
I was like, no way. Yeah, there's definitely. Well, it's crazy too because I get compared or like somebody who's become a really sweet friend is Billie Eilish. People always compare us in the press, which is crazy because Billie and I have such different music. That's the weirdest thing I think, is that like women in music get compared all the time, but it doesn't have anything to do with the way they sound. Like I don't know. I think it's really silly, but I think also that kind of stuff, like, you know, people can say what they want any day of the week, but it's sort of about like where you put your energy and how much you value that stuff. At the end of the day, like, Billie and I have supported each other over the last year and a half, and I'm sure we'll continue to do so. And that's been the case with so many artists. Like, it's I don't find anything valid in the competition, and so it's not a part of my life.
Well, and I think
it's not who I am.
With your attitude, you bring like a whole nother perspective to it.
Well,
that
it's gonna
help. It's gonna make it better.
Play. You know, if I love someone's artist or someone's music, I just want to play with them.
Right.
It's like it's just more friends to play with.
Right.
You know. It's like, I don't know.
Well, thank you so much.
No, thank you.
We really appreciate it. It's good to see you again too, and we're looking forward to just so continuing to watch you grow and flourish.
You so much.
It has been a joy, really.
Thank you. Well, I'm so excited for the record, and I can't wait for you to hear it.
I know. We're pretty excited
so
too.
Ready.
January 18th.
January 18th.